Hey everyone, welcome back to East West Coast Sports. We are officially on for Season 2. Warriors had their first home opener of the season against the Suns. They lost 108-104. Let's talk about it. What happened? So I think right off the bat, we can see size and rebounding is going to be an issue for this team. Obviously, Draymond being out, he's a great rebounder. When he comes back, there's going to be a lot more possessions that we finish with that defensive rebound. But in this game, the Suns kept getting second chance points and it killed us. They were mashing the glass. Okogie was a monster, kept getting, tip backs and ones, and that just really killed the momentum of the Warriors. On that note, I think it's pretty obvious that we're going to have to stagger the CP3 and Steph minutes. They can't be your only backcourt. Too small, too slow, not good point of attack defenders. Steph started on Devin Booker, did not go well. He got in early foul trouble. He missed a lot of time because he kept racking up, too many fouls, and Kerr had to take him out. I will say CP3 running the second unit looked fantastic. I think as the season unfolds, as the guys get a little bit more comfortable, as Draymond gets back into the rotation, I think the CP3 pickup is going to work. It's definitely a different style of basketball than we're used to with the Warriors. He runs it's much slower, much more methodical. We saw pick and roll obviously quite a bit. CP's shot wasn't falling, but he was getting good looks. He was getting guys good looks. So I do still think CP3 is going to be a good fit for this team moving forward. And we can't forget the Suns are a top 3 team to potentially, win the NBA Finals. So losing to the Suns, no Beal, no Draymond for us. It's not anything to scoff at that, the Warriors couldn't pull it out on opening night. Although the last couple years, Warriors have played a lot better on opening night. So it is a little bit disappointing that given, opportunity there, they couldn't pull it out. All right, let's talk about Wiggins. Man, Wiggins looked lethargic out there. I don't know what it is with Wiggins lately. This is sort of a postseason trend, and then now into this season, his isolation scoring just hasn't been there. He hasn't been able to find that rhythm, and he was our second best player in the championship run. So, with Wiggins not playing at close to an all-star level when it matters, right? I don't know, this game 1 of 82, right? If Wiggins isn't playing at a high level, I don't know how high our ceiling is, because he is one of our best point of attack defenders. He's one of our best just wing rebounders. We can go to him when we need a bucket. And so to see him really struggle tonight, it was a little bit discouraging. We're coming off, the off season. And so we can't sound the alarms on Wiggins just yet, right? Give him some time, give him 10, 15, 20 games or whatever. But it is a little bit concerning to see the drop-off that we saw he was capable of in that 22, ring run that we're not seeing anymore. And so Wiggins, to me, is going to be one of the bigger factors in how far this team can go. Clay, another one who struggled as of late. I actually thought Clay was just rushing his shots a little early. I thought for the most part he was taking good shots. We don't love how much he's dribbling, but he's trying to evolve his game, and I appreciate, him adding those little wrinkles to it. He's got a killer mid-range shot, and it's nice to see him take that as well. But I think for Clay, he just needs to get out of his own way. I think we're going to see Clay be a lot more of a catch-and-shoot player like he normally has been. He's going to defend up now. He's going to be small forward, power forward defender, not so much on the really athletic wings. Give Clay some time as well. I know he really struggled in the preseason, but I actually thought he had a really good second half. He was making, shots, and Clay is, arguably the second best shooter of all time. So give him some reps as well. I think we're going to see Clay come out of this, and he's going to be a big part of the team, and, he's going to be an important part. All right, let's talk about the young guys. JK looked awesome. He only had a 5-minute stint, I believe, in the first half, and then he got a lot of second half minutes. And when he was out there, he was great. He was grabbing boards, he was pushing the pace, he was scoring, he was drawing fouls. He was doing everything that we saw him do in the preseason, but in a regular season game against a high-level opponent like the Suns. I think we're going to need to see more Jonathan Kuminga just in general. I've seen tweets about potentially starting him while Draymond is out. He outplayed Wiggins, no doubt. He looked fantastic out there, and I think we're going to need to lean on our youth. Another guy who looked awesome was Moody. Moody was hitting shots. He was attacking the rim. He just looked like he was somewhat of a veteran out there. I think Moody definitely plays bigger or better than his third year would suggest. I hope Kerr gives him a longer leash. I hope he is a staple in the rotation because I think we're going to need him. I think he showed in the postseason just last year how valuable he can be. He stretches the floor. He's just a basketball player. He makes the right read. I think we're going to need Moody to also be a big part of the rotation for us to, rack up the wins that we're hoping to rack up. Little surprised we did not see Trayce Jackson-Davis out there. I thought rebounding was obvious. In the first half, we weren't, getting the defensive rebounds that we normally get. And again, Draymond's out, but I think Kerr could have leaned on Jackson Davis a little bit more in that first half, just give him some minutes out there while it's still early in the game, see how he feels. He played really well in the preseason. I thought, he could be the second big after Looney, potentially, as far as athleticism goes. Sarge is obviously a much more polished player. He can shoot the three. He knows how to run a good pick and roll, but he doesn't play above the rim, and he's older, right? So Jackson Davis is going to give us that much more athletic, younger, energy sort of vibe. And so I was a little surprised he didn't get any minutes in this game. I thought he could have had a little bit of an impact. But maybe they were just worried about the offense because it was a slugfest. 108 to 104 on both high octane offenses is a pretty low scoring game. So maybe they were worried about that. But I do see Jackson Davis getting into the rotation, even if it's just for 5, 7, 10 minutes, especially when Loon is sitting or Sarge is sitting. I think he's a definitely viable option for one of our bigs. So what does this mean moving forward? Well, we have the Kings on Friday. Sucks that we don't have Draymond for that game because it's going to be, they're going to go after us. We beat them twice in the preseason. Doesn't mean anything, but I'm sure that's recent memory for them. So I'm sure they're going to want to get a win on us, and it's their home opener, right? So it's going to be a tough game. I think there's a chance they could blow it open, right, if we don't play tough defense. But this is where our young guys are definitely going to come in. They have a lot of young players as well, so we're going to need the athleticism. I hope Kerr tweaks with the starting lineup even just a little bit. I don't think CP3 can be in that starting lineup. He fits with what the Warriors want to do, but him and Steph both on the court, we're super small, we're unathletic, and that's just not modern NBA right now, right? Modern NBA has moved towards bigger players, athletic players. CP3, he was creating shots for a lot of guys, but he was still getting beat on the defense. CP3 had to turn to his antics, right? Flopping a little bit, drawing cheap fouls. He got KD early on when he was all up in him, and then KD just, gave him a little bit of a shove. So obviously CP3 is going to be important, but we're going to need to figure out how to stagger those minutes a little bit better. Lastly, Steph looked great. He didn't shoot the ball super well, but he looks bouncy. He looks ready for the season. I think Steph is poised to have a great season. Now, we're probably going to, load manage his game numbers this whole season. I would be surprised if we see him play any more than 70 games. I think even that's a stretch. We're probably looking at 65 as long as he doesn't have any sort of big injuries. But that's what it takes to gear up for the postseason. So we'll see. I really enjoyed watching the Warriors again. I thought it was a competitive game for the most part. A lot of things to look at in the film for the Warriors. Once Draymond gets back, I think it's going to clean up a lot of defensive issues, but the personnel is there. I'm excited for this team. It's 1 out of 82 games, so can't get upset for one game, right? Obviously it's the home opener. You're a little upset about that, but overall I thought preseason was very encouraging. The pieces are there. Jonathan Kuminga looks like he's going to be a bona fide, up and coming all-star. Moody looks like he is ready to crack the rotation on a consistent basis. And we retooled with Sarge, CP3. If Clay and Wiggins can get back to form, I think it's going to be a dangerous team. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think, how this season's going to unfold. Going to be covering as much Warriors as I can. Again, appreciate it, you guys. Talk to you later.